And Shabbat Shalom and greetings to you all. Summer's gone. Fall's around the corner. And that means that this year we're just about a week away from the days of awe, the 10 days of introspection, review, maybe a little begging, and promising to be good. The facing of the mirror of self. And that could be enough to break any mirror. It begins with Rosh Hashanah on the night of the 9th, and it ends with the breaking of the fast on Yom Kippur, the day of lot casting, on the night of September the 19th this year. Now, in a perfectly aligned universe, the first day of the 7th month, Rosh Hashanah, coincides with the equinox, or change of season. And there's reasons for that, which if you tune into our Rosh Hashanah service, we'll talk about. But this year, there's almost a 2-week gap. But do not be afraid to do your change of season ritual at the same time as Rosh Hashanah, because that's what the holiday's about. Now, should it be called a holiday or a holy day? I believe we put emphasis on holy with an I instead of holy with a Y. Kind of like Liza with a Z. And these days which are coming, known as the high holidays, are when most tribal members gather. Now, if you were an alien and came to Earth during the high holidays, you'd think this was a real popular religion. Not a seat is empty. Standing room only. I would that were the norm. And speaking of things out of the norm, I had the joy the other day of speaking with someone I had not spoken to in over 20 years. Dan, the man, the great star master himself, who has been encountering all these amazing elements of the past, as so often happens when we take stock of who, what, where we are at this time of year. It was a wonderful surprise, as happens when energies gather. So let us all take a minute and gather as we come together. The like-minded, like-souled unification of spirit is a beautiful thing, my friends. The collective consciousness of spirit seekers coming together in a showing of faith, of love, a community, a chavura, a fellowship, expressing our nature of kindness, compassion, thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, and wishes that unites us all, every single one of us in this community, house of spirit, Beth Ruach. So once again, please do go ahead and invite everybody you know, physically, psychically, emotionally, spiritually, to gather and share from Psalm 133, the Hine Matov. Come together. Hine Matov. How good, how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community. Community. Together. And as a community, let us all spread love, goodwill, and fellowship to the entire world, my friends. And please do not forget to give thanks for the things which we have that we've ritualized. And we do this when we light our candles, when we share a cup of wine, a piece of bread. These are all rituals. It represents the tools of life, sustenance, fellowship that we observe daily, but especially every week in our Sabbath remembrance and observation. Remember, friends, this is your setting aside just a little bit of your own sacred time in your sacred space to talk to whoever, whatever you happen to believe in. It is a part of your kavanah, your intention, your goodwill to the creation of the universe and whatever you happen to believe in. And let's send out some of that goodwill to the entire universe. Let's invoke healing and renewal for everybody you know, and for the souls and spirits of everybody you know. So think of whoever that needs healing, renewal, and love, or just goodwill. Focus on them. Call their names. It's not just for people. It's for our pets. It's for the earth. It is the healing of the earth, the tikkun olam that is part of our spiritual genetic makeup. For Bob, for George, who we hope is doing better. For Michael, who's made an amazing turnaround. For Julia, who I think should celebrate birthdays every day. And for the one and only Deborah. And of course, make sure you include yourself for healing, because friends, you need renewal and healing too. It is the kindness, healing, wishes, goodwill, and love that we all send out that circles the world, finding those in need. So thank you, each of you, for all you do, for all you care, because the world is a world of spirit, and spirit, my friends, never dies. Avotenu, Makor Bracha, Levotenu, may the source of strength, for blessed the ones before us. Help us find the courage. Make our lives a blessing. The renewal of body, the renewal of spirit. Let us sing. Amen. Yishaberach, let us all have our spirits renewed the world over, my friends. Now, this is the great prayer for healing, which we call upon God to heal as He has healed before. Yishaberach, may He who blessed. In this month of blessing, of healing, let us all heal before we face the judgment we ascribe to the heavenly court, but which really is the judgment of self. And speaking of judgment of self, I'm reminded of the story about the persistent parishioner. Now that sounds like the title of a mystery, The Persistent Parishioner. Anyhow, he was knocking on the door of a shul. The only one there at the time was the rabbi. He had no appointments, so he didn't get up to answer the door because he knew when people come to the door and knock, it's usually for other business. They want to book a simcha, they want to pay a bill. If people were not booked to see him, people rarely had an emergency that required a rabbi. So he ignored it. Well, the person did not stop ringing the bell and knocking. So eventually, the rabbi went and answered. And what struck the rabbi was the level of persistence the fellow had. So he asked why he was so persistent. And the fellow said, I saw your car in the parking lot, so I knew you were here. But it reminded the rabbi that man has persistent faith. And we knock on heaven's door all the time. It's not always answered right away, but if we keep knocking, it will be. Mama wiped the blood from my face. I'm sick and tired of the war. Got a low black feeling and it's hard to trace. Feel like I'm knocking on heaven's door. And isn't that what we are doing? Aren't we knocking on heaven's door? You bet we are. And notice as you get closer to the days of awe, Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, every week we're reading things that remind us of the prime demonstration of the principle in Judaism. Or for you Star Trek fans, the prime directive. What is hateful to you, do not do to your neighbor. Now, whether it's returning somebody's property that disappeared, or their cloak at night, or leaving food in the field, we must be decent, humane, generous, sharing, and caring. Do those things, my friends. You will be answered when you knock. Now, this week we read tavo, when you'll come. This is a parsha primarily about blessings and curses. Do not forget there were going to be two stelae, upright monumental stone slabs, set up on the two mountains, Mount Ebal and Mount Gerizim. And in this solemn ceremony, the 12 tribes are divided 6 and 6 on the two mountains to pronounce respectively the blessing and the curse. But it opens, Ki tavo el haaretz, when you'll come to the land. So when you get to the promised land, you give an offering. You give thanks. And friends, we're actually presented with the first real liturgy in the Bible. Yes, we've seen parts taken over time, which became ensconced in liturgy. The Shema, the Birkat HaMazon, Thanksgiving prayers after eating, the priestly blessing, some now going back thousands of years. But here is the first real prayer, and it is given step by step. You take from your first fruits to give to God, and you go to the temple, and you give it to the priest who places it in front of the altar, and you say, Deuteronomy 26:5, my father was a perishing Aramean. So he went down to Egypt and resided there with a few persons and became a big, powerful, and numerous nation there. Now, the two most likely candidates for the role of the Aramean are Abraham, who we think came from Mesopotamia, and Jacob, who we know spent 20 years there after fleeing from Esau. And you continue. And the Egyptians were bad to us and degraded us and imposed hard work on us. And we cried out to the Lord our father's God, and the Lord listened to our voice and saw our degradation and our trouble and our oppression. And God brought us out from Egypt with a strong hand and an outstretched arm, and with great fear and with signs and with wonders. And he brought us to this place and gave us this land, a land flowing with milk and honey. And now here, I've brought the first fruit of the land that you have given me, O Lord. Well, you know what, friends? In 2 paragraphs, the history of the formation of a people and its belief is given. And history has now been converted to liturgy and spiritual historical fact. Now, the prosperous farmer recalls how his forefathers were close to dying from famine and were obliged to go down to Egypt, where in due course they were enslaved. Original liturgy. And this prayer, this entreaty, calls for the care of others. Deuteronomy 26:12. When you'll finish doing all the tithe of your produce in the 3rd year, the year of the tithe, you'll give it to the Levite, to the alien, to the orphan, to the widow, and they'll eat in your gates and be full. All the people who otherwise would have no one taking care of them, the priest, the stranger, and the weakest members of society, the orphan and the widow. As we prepare ourselves for the week of review, we can ask, how much are you giving? And how much are you giving in thanks? It is never too late to change those answers, my friends. Then the purpose of this week's parsha comes, Deuteronomy 27:1. And Moses and Israel's elders commanded the people, saying, observe all the commandments that I command you today. Okay, here come the blessings and curses, and notice that it's all or nothing. Observe all the commandments. And it's interesting to see the things which are singled out for curses. Deuteronomy 27:15. Cursed be the man who will make a statue or molten thing, an offensive thing of the Lord. Now that takes us to the primary commandment that there can be no image of God. And because of the golden calf, this one was specifically redrafted. Cursed be one who disrespects one's father and mother. And cursed be one who moves his neighbor's landmark. Because the true role of a parent is sacred. And the land boundary was so important. Now it really is a great list. Cursed be one who misleads a blind person on the way. Cursed be one who bends the judgment of an alien, an orphan, or a widow. Cursed be the one who lies with his father's wife. Cursed be the one who lies with any animal. Cursed be the one who lies with his sister, his father's daughter or his mother's daughter. Cursed be the one who lies with his mother-in-law. Cursed be the one who strikes his neighbor in secret. But what if it's not in secret? Cursed be the one who takes a bribe to strike a person. Now that has to do with taking innocent blood. And the pièce de résistance, cursed be the one who will not uphold the words of this instruction to do them. That is the whole kit and caboodle. All the words. And this is just the why, not even the what. And you know what, friends, sometimes we stray from our paths of the divine purpose we all have in life. And sometimes it takes courage for us to come knocking to get back into love. You went away and left a long time ago. Now you're knocking on my door. I hear you knocking, but you can't come in. I hear you knocking. Go back where you've been. I begged you not to go, but you said goodbye. Now you're telling me all your lies. I hear you knocking, but you can't come in. I hear you knocking. Go back where you've been. Keep knocking, my friends, but do not lie. Facing that mirror of self, and you know what? We're going to see the lies. Now the curses seem kind of like a list of sundry examples of the laws that Moses has given until now. Most of the things that are forbidden are uncommon and they're easy to avoid. So the people as a whole will readily say amen to them. But then that final curse is on anyone who will not support and perform the words of this Torah. In other words, the Torah as a whole. The people are led to a point at which they must say amen to the full Torah. Read the fine print. Then we get in Deuteronomy 28:2, our small list of blessings. And all these blessings will come on you and catch up with you when you'll listen to the voice of the Lord your God. You know, for blessings we get, you'll be blessed in the city, you'll be blessed in the field. Your basket and your bowl will be blessed. You'll be blessed when you come in and you'll be blessed when you go out. And one of the most descriptive of all sums things up pretty well. And the Lord will put you at the head and not at the tail. I just think that people who dress in horse costumes, and no one wants to be the tail. Well, the curses are all opposite to these and then some. Your flock's young will be cursed. You'll be cursed when you come in. You'll be cursed when you go out. The Lord will make your land's showers powder and dust. It will fall on you from the skies until you're destroyed. And your carcass will become food for every bird of the skies and for the animals of the earth, with no one making them afraid. The Lord will strike you with boils of Egypt and with hemorrhoids. God will strike you with madness and with blindness, and you'll be feeling around at noon, the way the blind would feel around in the dark. And you'll betroth a woman. Another man will ravish her. You'll build a house, and you won't live in it. You'll plant a vineyard, you won't desanctify it. Now, this last one, my friend, is a great example of the differences in Judaism between what is read versus what is written. Ketib versus Kerah. The written text of the Torah, the Ketib, uses the strong terms. But when it is read, the Kerah, a much milder term is substituted. And this happens several times during the Torah, right? So you can't just read what's written. You got to actually know what was said. And then we get, your sons and your daughters will be given to another people. The alien who is among you will go above you, higher and higher, and you will go down lower and lower. He will become a head, and you will become a tail. And there's some real frightening curses. You'll eat the fruit of your womb, the flesh of your sons and your daughters whom the Lord your God has given you. Now this horrid curse, my friends, comes true 4 centuries later during the Aramean siege of Samaria, and that's recounted in 2 Kings. And if you've never read it, take a look. It's chapter 6, 25 to 29. And it was even a more horrid reality in the 16th century France's religious wars. And then there's the one that still was prevalent to this day. And the Lord will scatter you among all the peoples from the one end of the earth to the other end of the earth. I'd like to think we might have moved past the point of having to have threats in order to be decent. You know, from the moment of birth, a person's mission really begins, my friends. He becomes an active force in the lives of others. Day by day, his ability to interact with the world increases. Those blessed with exceptional spiritual capacities immediately radiate holiness around them. They are destined to elevate the world to remarkable divine heights. That is you. That is your destiny. I know, my friends, that the curses which you read here are 4 times the length of the blessings. And sometimes in our own lives, we're not sure which is which. Are you lonely? Are you crying? Are those teardrops in your eyes? Is it more blues? Is it bad news? Is it a curse or a blessing in disguise? It's the scars that make you stronger. It's the hard times that make you wise. It's the sweet things only time brings that arrive like a blessing in disguise. Clouds roll by and bring the rain. Tears will dry and ease the pain. Now that's the great Gretchen Peters. Yes, the world is sacred. So is everything in it, my friends. Express your gratitude, light a candle, make a wish. Celebrate your life and the lives of those you love. Share your feelings with them. Live free, be free, honor your freedom. Be well, be happy, be blessed. Share and honor the light and all who live in the light and continue to shine. Continue to send everybody you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace and freedom for everyone. And end to terror and hatred. Remember, friends, we are a community. We learn together, we celebrate each other, we love each other, we share this right together, men and women equally. Let us send out love, not fear, send out peace, harmony, goodwill, and healing to all who need it. And please do learn to forgive and learn to love, including yourself. Open your hearts. Honor the relationships of your life. Tell those you love that you love them. Take advantage of the time you have and enjoy the journey, because we take the twists and turns and the patterns that weave through the fabric of our lives in our effort to grow, to learn, to be, to love. So please do love. Now bless you all. Have a fantastic week, a week of love and light, a week of peace, a week of miracles. Examine your intentions and use them to imprint your will on the universe, because we set in motion all that happens in our lives. Our intention, our Kavana, our cause, our effect, everything is linked. As I've said, you've always have time to forgive and to be forgiven. You have the knowledge of what is good and bad, so acknowledge what you have done wrong to yourself, to God, and to any person you've wronged. Then ask forgiveness, and do so with sincerity, with accountability, and with vulnerability. Forgive those who've hurt you, as you learn to be forgiving and compassionate. Because the secret of forgiveness, compassion, and peace, my friends, is in acceptance. Can you accept yourself, other people, the world just as they are? Can you accept life just as it is without trying to control it? If you do, you can experience the peace that acceptance brings. So do not stop your journey. Do not stop moving towards your promised land, your home. Keep on dreaming. Keep on being, keep sharing, keep shining, keep teaching. Keep spreading joy and goodwill. Do not follow fear, follow love. It's always in front of you. And remember to have faith and unwavering adherence to principle, just as I have faith in the principle of love in all of you. Act with purity of heart and mind. Despise none, defraud none, hate none. Cherish all. Honor every child of God, every creature of the earth. May all people know peace in this year. And may you nurture kindness and love everywhere you go. And work to be present in the body. Expand the heart, quiet the mind, because the deepest source of real power lies in consciousness and the ability to be mindful, to be aware, to be present in all of life's circumstances. Make the most of your time in this life. Continue to touch and transform the lives around you, because you're never alone. You're forever blessed and have the ability to bring blessing to everybody you meet. Health, love, renewal to everybody you come across. We're all energy, and energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transformed. Friends, your words are the power to transform, to love, to bless. So be generous. Bless others and bless yourself. Love with the heart. We're all part of a greater whole. Embrace love, not fear. Forgiveness, not anger. Be there for someone, because someone will always be there for you whether you know it or not. Continue to explore faith and belief. Do not accept shame as a natural state. Whatever you feel, others have felt. Whatever you've experienced, others have too. We share together. We learn together. We help each other. We are each of us trying to find love and acceptance and support. We all have or could have that special someone in our lives. So find them and tell them what they mean. And remember, you're never alone on your journey to the promised land. Watch your words. They can hurt you, they can heal you, they can imprison you, and they can free you. But keep talking and keep knocking on the door. If you believe in God, sometimes he's busy, but he will hear you and he'll answer. Mama, I can hear that thunder roar, echoing down from God's distant shore. I can hear it calling for my soul. Feel I'm knocking on heaven's door. Just keep knocking. Be happy, be healthy, be helpful, be kind, and be loving. Use the rest of this month, what little there is, to heal, so you can imprint your will on your will on the blank canvas of life, because you got another chance in a couple of days. And keep celebrating being free to be you. Have a great week, my friends. And join us next week for our Rosh Hashanah show, where you will learn all you need to know to celebrate the new you and to ensure you are inscribed in the book of life. Shabbat Shalom and blessings to you all. Take care. Bye.